We are now live.
Man, I look rough. Dang.
Mm, not right. I like that. Do well until we die cap. Is
Oh,
that
well, I
a
got every
dome
color.
or is that
I don't know
nice?
which one this is. Yeah, this is Dome. Yeah. I've got every one they've made, bro. Like that's what I'm telling these cats, man. We need our own line.
Yeah. Try to see. We got 11 people right here. Let it kind of fill up a little bit
Well, I need
before we.
the downtime before I fire off a tweet to this cat that just responded to that Jessica nutbag lady.
Was it a bad tweet about me or is it a bad tweet in
Yeah.
general?
No,
Oh,
making
damn.
some like legit accusations against you, bro. Like I just read
Like
it
what I
before we
do?
came on, and I'd like if we didn't have this, I'd be in Twitter jail right now.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh, I wonder what I did.
You want to know what he said you did?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what he said I did.
He said you stole food from kids and something about your booster donations to FSU.
He said I stole booster donations to FSU, or he said I'm not
No, you
really.
stole food from kids, which is interesting considering you do a food drive every freaking weekend. And then
Yeah,
something
that's weird.
about you didn't hold up to your booster donations to FSU. This dude's got like
I
12 followers, probably ain't never donated a can of food in his life and like has never given a penny to a school out here trying to fire shots, man. I about
oh, I'm
lost
not
my
saying
shit
like
on him.
if you can't get tickets if you don't I can't have season tickets if you're not a booster.
Yeah.
And I've got
I mean,
six season tickets.
I've come to expect back crap stuff, crazy stuff out of the Jessica chick. But then to fire
Yeah,
off
that
stuff
was
like that,
funny.
man.
Yeah, like I said, man, you know, it's cool. Like I'm a thief. I still, I, if I'm gonna steal, man, we're gonna steal big time money, bro. I'm
Yeah,
not going
no,
to
this
jail for $5,000, man.
I don't
But yeah, the
like
food donation every week is wild.
for those listening, like I rarely read my notifications. This one happened to hit me when I was posting about the live and saw it, and that's why I don't read them, man. It's like
I
you can
tell people
talk
right
crap,
now I'm
you
too
can,
weak.
huh?
I'm too weak to like really like go
I
back and
got you
forth.
on
That's why
that.
when I read the Jessica thing, I was just like, yo, that's funny, dude.
Well, no,
Like
that
I'm
one's
just
like
like,
she's a cartoon, bro. Like that's
and then,
hysterical. But this other dude,
but I'm sitting here like, give me 3 weeks. Now 3 weeks, I might be firing back at people. But like right now, man, I'm just happy to be alive, bro. Like I ain't worried about
well,
none of this stuff.
yeah, don't, yeah.
Uh-oh. Our Facebook comments um aren't showing, so that's gonna stink. But oh, that's why. All right. Well, that messed up. Okay. All right. Well,
What if
I'll fix that.
Facebook shut you down because you're stealing food from kids?
Yeah, that's what it was. It got posted on my personal page on accident. So, but like now I fixed it. It shows up as private when you put it on your personal page. Um, so we'll fix that.
I'm worn out, man. We need to start this thing over. Or are we good?
Um, yeah, let me let me see if I can fix it. Just you stay right here.
Stay right here, he says. Where am I gonna go? If anybody's listening that knows how to produce this stuff, hit us up. I guess actually Miles does. And where's Rain Man? Am I just talking to myself or am I actually talking to people? That's another good question.
All right, I think I got it right now.
Where's Miles at? He knows how to do this stuff.
Yeah, This is what happens when you put people when you operate outside of your pay grade. This is Miles' job. But, we can go ahead and we should be good.
I kind of thought we already went started.
Oh, my bad. Yeah, let's yeah. Well, I guess that's how we start. Anyways, this is the Sports Den brought to you by man. Brought to you by thehumidor.com. Type in Sports Den at checkout for 20% off. Um, you know, that's our type of sponsor. Make sure you go support those guys. You know,
Get to
apparently
ABC.
get the ABC. Apparently, they support guys who steal food from kids, and 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 guys
And
who like the booster president Mike Alford probably will watch this broadcast, and he can attest that I'm all I'm all squared up. I promise.
yeah,
I'm good.
what a
Who's
what a tool. Not the Booster Club president, but the
yeah, no,
steering
no,
tool.
no.
What a
Mike's
freaking
dope.
tool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I also apparently got Tim Tebow fired. But those are things just a day in the life of the sports den. Um, Denny. We'll go this past weekend. We missed yesterday's show because Denny was traveling and trying to get back, and we're actually on early because Denny still has business from Indianapolis that he has to go do. So typically we'll be on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. We're gonna try to be consistent to that, but just know it's gonna be 3 days a week. Make sure you like the broadcast, tag somebody in the broadcast, comment and share, and let people know that this is what we're doing as everything is still new. This will not be on the 1010 Excel page. I mean on this page. So a lot of people are asking, why can't I find this anymore? Why can't I do that? You have to go onto YouTube, the Sports Thing YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, our SoundCloud, or we're available on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, and Spotify, I believe as well. So those are that's the gist of what's going on. I think we set up everything. So let's
Yeah, by the way, man, I had a dope weekend. Like
yeah, you want to go ahead and start off with this time your weekend was doper than mine, so let's start with that.
my weekend was awesome, bro. My weekend, I flew to Indianapolis on Saturday. So I got up, trained a little bit, then flew to Indianapolis on Saturday. And Sunday, they had a game against the Panthers, and I sat in the sickest suite, man. Like I hope when Jacksonville redoes their stadium, they follow suit on some of these field level suites. Like I don't like the ones in Dallas because the ones in Dallas are behind the players, but the ones in Indianapolis, there's like 7 of them in one end zone. And the way they're set up, you are literally right, like at the back of the end zone on the field. And so I got to sit there, and some Robert Mathis was hung out with Robert Mathis. Actually got to hold the Super Bowl, the Lombardi Trophy. Um,
Nice.
yeah, it did some pretty. It's not as heavy as you think it is, by the way. Not nearly as heavy, but did some really dope stuff, and I got some cool things going on in my life, like some really really dope stuff that I'm gonna let all of you guys know about very soon. Um, like things where uh, like it never even crossed my mind to dream about, and now it's like going to be a major part of the next 7 years of my life. So I'm excited to get you guys up to speed on that. I just got a couple of T's to cross and I's to dot, and then I'll let everybody in on that. But it's some pretty cool stuff. But yeah, I got to spend a lot of time with some really cool people, man, and I won't go into. Didn't really hang out that much in Indy, so I'm not gonna sit here and like just pump Indy up, the whole time. But I will be at the Jags Colts game on November 14th, so I'm looking forward to that. But so I say all that to say this: I didn't get to watch the Jags game because I was flying at the time. So in Detroit, I had to get connect through Detroit, and in Detroit, I had like an hour layover, and pulled out the phone, went to Twitter, and kind of lived vicariously through everyone watching the game here in Jacksonville and heard things like, man, this offensive line is going to get Trevor killed. This offensive line sucks. And it was like, that's all I heard about was the offensive line, the offensive line, the offensive line. So got home last night and watched the game. I only watched the first half because it took me like 2 hours to watch it because I literally like stopped, paused, rewound. I watched it as if you would watch film because I wanted to see the scheme that Herbs was rolling out, even defensively, all that kind of stuff. And so let me hit you guys with something. The offensive line's fine. And I know you've been told that they suck, and I know that you've been told by everybody in the city that they are to blame for literally everything. Those people are wrong, and those people don't know what they're looking at. All right, let's go just straight off the top of my dome, James. I don't have this written down. But you know what we need to do? You and I need to do a film session on this so that people can see this the right way. All right? And we need to do that this week because I want our listeners, I want our followers to understand the game on a different level so that when you hear some talking head tell you something that's not true, you can just call their BS right there. And you can just look at your friends and say, that guy's an idiot. He don't know what he's talking about. Like, so that's like a goal of mine is let's do some film breakdown so that we can accomplish this together as a family. But going straight from the top of my head, let's talk first play of the game offensively. Sack, right? Or first pass play of the game. I think it was first play of the game. If you go back and you look at that play, Trevor had a little bit over 2.5 seconds to throw the ball. Not great, but not terrible. But you got to dig deeper
3
than
seconds
that.
is key.
3 seconds is getting to be a lifetime, right? But you got to dig a little deeper than the time that he had. And you got to look at the concept that was being run. On the outside, they had a go ball. Cleveland was in, it looked like man coverage. It was either, I think it was man free. I'm getting kind of mixed up on all the different ones. Like I said, this go from memory. So he had a matchup on the outside that he could have hit right away. If you look at the bottom or the left side of the formation, there was, I think, a seam and a dig. I think something along those lines. Trevor set his eyes to the left like he was looking at that, and the dig popped open. And if you pause when he pops open, forget the fact that you should see that before. But if you pause when he pops open, there's a clean pocket. Ball should have been gone. Trevor should have never got hit. Okay? Plenty of protection for the concept is my point. Plenty. If you go to there's a couple plays where he had a couple really good plays. There was one come back on a third down that I thought was his best play of the game. He threw the ball well before the receiver got out of his break. It was Marvin Jones. Marvin Jones ran a beautiful route, like executed flawlessly all the way around. The one, though, that people, made the most comments on was Trevor took the snap and he was working to the left side of the field. And when he was working to the left side of the field, if you've listened to the sportsden, you have heard me say this a million times, that going left is going to be a little bit of a struggle. It's not going to be as smooth as going right, just from a mechanical standpoint. But if you go and you watch the play, he took a sack on it. If you pause at the top of Trevor's drop, James, there's a perfectly formed pocket.
There's a perfectly formed pocket. That means you should be able to throw it.
So Cam Robinson has his guy on his outside shoulder. Okay, can you picture that for a second? So guys rushing upfield, right? So ends rushing upfield. Cam has him attached on his outside shoulder. So if
he's
you
running them where he wants them to go.
Exactly. So if you think about a pocket being a triangle, where the base of the triangle is the offensive line, the point of the triangle is the quarterback. And if you think about that triangle shifting its angle every time the quarterback moves, right? There's going to come a point of break where the quarterback moves to a point where the offensive tackle no longer has leverage or even knowledge of where the quarterback is at. And so now the defensive end doesn't have to run through a shoulder. of the offensive lineman. The defensive end can have a direct and clear path to the quarterback. Trevor takes the drop and he drifts 2 gaps over to the left, and that's when the defensive end frees up. That's not on cam. There was no pressure initially from the guard from the interior. Both tackles had their guys run a little bit wide, which is a pocket, right? That's what a pocket is. And Trevor kind of drifted into that. Am I saying that Trevor did anything wrong? Yes, I am. Am I concerned about it? No, not at all, because that's what this game is for. That's what the preseason is for. And I guarantee you that Schottenheimer and Bevel took to film and told him the exact same thing that I'm telling you guys right now. Like, I would bet money that Trevor heard that same thing. The other time he took a hit, that was he held the ball a little bit longer than he probably should have. But I'm going to kind of put that one on James Robinson, because James Robinson was super late releasing. Like, he either should have chipped the guy or he should have released sooner, and he kind of got stuck there. And those guys, those things matter. And my point is, it wasn't the offensive line. Now, the offensive line got Gardner rocked, absolutely rocked on one play, and that was a blitz situation where they just sent one more, and the Jags didn't have a great play call for that, or Gardner didn't recognize that. The positive about Trevor is if you look at these same plays, like the protection he set the protection at the line and it was the right set. Like, he's obviously pretty knowledgeable about setting protection. But I just wanted to start off the show and say, guys, calm down. Like, the offensive line got good pushes, and I'm not talking about later in the game. I don't care about watching anything past the first half. They got good pushes on the run game, especially the interior. Ben Barch actually played pretty well. And in the past game, like, there was nothing that was overly concerning. Ball should have come out. Sorry to keep talking, James, but I'm gonna give you the flip side. If you go back and you watch this game,
You just watched the game. You have more than I have right now.
Well, look and see what Cleveland did. And what you see with Cleveland, and the reason why, I'm going to back up here and tell you this. Don't let people tell you that the Jags didn't get pressure on defense. Cleveland did an amazing job, knowing that it's the preseason, it's going to be base coverage, of setting up the matchup pre-snap that they wanted and delivering the ball right away. And if you watch that, that's what offense should look like. I've got this guy running an out on a linebacker, and so I'm getting rid of the ball as soon as he can get out of the break. And you saw that over and over and over again when Cleveland had the ball, and the Jags defense buckled down, kind of a bend but don't break type of situation. I actually love what Joe Cullen's doing, though. Like, if you just pay attention to the safety play, he's got those safeties all over the place. Like, that once they get everything dialed in, that's going to be a very hard defense to game plan for, because it's going to be hard for the quarterback to read anything protection wise, and it's going to be really hard to read coverages the way that Cullen's got the safety moving around all over the place. So I like that. The linebackers, bro, again, Miles, man, what are we doing? What are we doing with Miles? Like, he gave up the edge a couple of times. Run fits bad a couple of times again. Things that you shouldn't see from a vet in that situation. And the Jags linebacking core is it's not good right now. That's the weakness of their team right now, which is why in Jags practices and scrimmages, we've seen the tight ends get so many balls. The linebackers just aren't playing well right now. But that was my 2 cents. I actually thought, for a first preseason game with a quarterback who's never taken a snap, with a team who was 1-15 last year with an all new coaching staff, and so much turnover, that's exactly what they should have looked like. Like, what they look like is what they should have looked like. I think you'll see a massive improvement this week when they roll out and play.
Those are all fair assessments. I actually got a chance to watch a couple clips too. Somebody, I think our boy Blake put up James O'Shaughnessy's dive at the ankle, but I explained why. Like it was actually pretty good coverage outside of 76 getting pushed back a little bit, which happens. And he did what you're supposed to do when you're getting pushed back: set your base and literally just like don't get pushed back anymore. I think Cam actually had a phenomenal block on that one. Damn, man hurts.
Yeah,
Holy crap!
yeah,
He club walked somebody, and then what happens is when you're coming down, like, that's a very difficult block. This,
it
the
is.
block. So when you're coming back and you see somebody there, you got to you got to come up under him, and then you still got to get to your guy, and basically that adjustment made him miss his guy. It's basically the same. It's the same. It's the same video that I accidentally went viral for with Tim Tebow, except for neither one of them blocked their guy. It's just one was more explainable than the other one because Tebow should have at least sealed the guy. But that's neither
I don't
here
think.
nor there.
I mean, I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna watch it again. I watched it last night at midnight when I got back. But I expected to see just the worst offensive line play ever,
Right.
and I didn't see that. And in fact, I actually, after watching the first half, thought that the offensive line may have been the strongest part of the team. Like and I would love to get Leon Cersei or Tony Baselli's take on this, and I think I'm going to text Tony and ask him about it because maybe I don't know what I'm looking at, but bro, I honestly thought that was a strong point. But you mentioned Blake, and Blake said something on Twitter that I mentioned to you earlier. Um, the best coverage guy that's on this team right now is CJ Henderson.
Yeah.
CJ Henderson may not even want to be out there. I don't know. But dude is in. Now, he can't play zone. Good. There's a clip that we'll do in film study where James is third and long. Okay? It's third and long. They line up in cover 3. CJ lets his man just go like there's safety help over top. And the quarterback didn't see him. And so I don't know if anybody pointed this out on the broadcast or anywhere else. I haven't seen it. But CJ literally squatted like it was cover 2 and just let the dude run. And it would have been a 50-yard touchdown. But when he played man coverage, he was running the routes for guys. And you're talking about a guy who's barely practiced. I can see why the Jags fell in love with his coverage skills. And I hope that whatever's going on gets worked out because that dude, man, when he's dialed in, he's the best coverage corner they got on the team.
Right. I mean, it's talent was obvious. The thing is the mental part. And to be honest with you, if outside of they're gonna pick that up in the game, him squatting on as much as I don't we bash Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield sees that more
No
than
doubt.
likely.
Yeah, no doubt.
So as long as he can eliminate those things, all the other things could be forgiven because at the end of the day, it's the end of it's like not for long. It's about what have you done for me lately. If he's performing, he's fine, and they figured out the combo. And I think the thing that we were talking about, and a lot of people who were kind of discussing the CJ Henderson situation was that the Jags were throwing every freaking combo available at CJ Henderson, and like to get him on, and you recognize the talent. If they didn't, he wouldn't have been drafted where he was drafted, even if it was by um, another administration. But
Yep.
Urban knows him. Urban and Coach Strong knows him. Urban also knows people who are associated with him. So they were really trying to figure out, can we salvage this, or what can we get for this? And if it works out in the next couple preseason games or the next couple things in practice, then it does. But I know
Well,
it's still a lot of ground to cover with that.
I'm going to double back on what I said last week. I said get whatever you can get for him, but I'm gonna retract that because I really paid attention to him. And James, he's so fluid, man. It's just so easy for him. Um, I don't know the details of this situation. I know enough to know that homie's struggling a little bit, right? And
Mhm.
there's some things that's probably beyond his control. But I would put every resource that you have, because I think he's that good. Like I
Mhm.
wouldn't ship him off for a fifth rounder, is what I'm saying. I think you look back 5 years from now, and he's either out of the league or he's a Pro Bowler. It's like there's one of those two. I don't think CJ is going to be just an average player. He's going to be either out or he's going to be in the Pro Bowl. And I think I'd rather take the risk of him being out of the league. Now, give him what he needs and look out for him. But if he's going to go out of the league, let him go out of the league here. If he's going to make the Pro Bowl, let him make the Pro Bowl here. He's so natural and so fluid in this, man.
Definitely understood. For those who don't know, you're listening or you're coming in because a friend told you. This is the Sports Den, brought to you by thehumidor.com. Type in Sports Den at checkout. Go to ABC Fine Wine and Spirits if you're in the state of Florida. Make sure that's the only place that you go get your alcohol from, because one, they got great prices, and two, it makes our show much, much better. And it encourages you to get involved. Comment section, again, firing off, is jumping off. A lot of people making their comments on on Twitter and on YouTube, on all the different things. No, we're not on 1010XL anymore. Sam, if you go listen to 2 shows ago, I talked about everything that I went through. I'm not gonna go do that again because you know, I did a really, really good job of not choking up. But and which is again is still a sore subject, sore topic. But we had again interesting weekend for everybody involved with the sports. Then
Whew,
you want
man,
to
Joe,
go into
we can go.
into the Joey
We can
Gatewood
either go
situation, or do you want
personality
me to go
stuff,
talk?
or
Yeah,
we can do
let's
either
go.
one. Like, I mean, it doesn't matter.
We'll go Bobby. So for my the FSU fans
Yeah, go
won't leave
Bobby,
yet. But
and then we can end with the Joey story, Joey Gatewood story. That's cool.
the Bobby Bowden had the most. Well, yeah, it's my bad. This is my show. Bobby Bowden had the blackest funeral that I've ever that I've ever been to for a white person. Like it was just so funny. Like because like you'll hear so many. There were so many, not so many, but there were some people who were like, he because of, again, like I said, because of the political stances without realizing context. Like, but when you look at, like, Bobby literally had nothing but like almost 75%. Actually, I go 90% of the people who weren't his family were black that were involved in the
That's
Bowden
dope.
program. And it wasn't just like players, like the FAMU gospel choir sang at his like sang all the stuff except for one guy, and Buddy sang "Wind Beneath Your Wings," "Wind Beneath My Wings," and I'm gonna be honest with you, like that's not his song. That's not the song that you want to like white church it with, if that makes sense. Like you need somebody.
Was this my people don't want no trouble guy?
No, 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 no. This is just, I don't know, some random white guy was just singing "Wind Beneath My Wings." And it's not random. It was somebody he obviously knew, and he did a decent job. It's just like I joked on Twitter, that this is the song you want a heavy set black woman to sing.
Yeah.
Like, and no offense to that, but like we need the theatrics. I need the soul. I need the passion. I need it from the diaphragm to sing that. So that was it. But Charlie Ward's daughter played "I Did It My Way" by Frank Sinatra on the violin. Oh my God, it was amazing. Like she did that thing to perfection. All the speakers who spoke were dope. Like Charlie, and they all got through it except for one person, and it made it so good because we were taking bets that we knew he wasn't going to get through it. And it was the toughest SOB out of everybody up there. It was Mickey Andrews. And the first bet was, what's the over under on curse words that Mickey says? And I was like, nah. Mickey understands the situation. He understands the assignment. He's not going to curse at Coach Bowden's funeral. I said, but what he's going to do is he's going to cry. And they're like, nah, nah, nah. And he got through it. And you saw him stop. And he was like me at my book bag drive when I was trying to think and breathe at the same time. So stuff was coming out that didn't make sense. He was
Yeah.
trying to speak and not cry. And then that last sentence, it just boom, just came. And then he had to stop. And I was like, oh man, that was tough. But Charlie, Derrick Brooks, Bobby Butler spoke, and Bobby Butler, for a lot of people, don't. Bobby Butler actually presided over it. So Bobby Butler was Dion before Dion. He was like the first big time draft pick from Florida State. Got drafted by the Atlanta Falcons, and ironically, Dion got drafted to kind of replace Bobby at the end of his career. But Bobby is now an associate pastor, so to see a player who was one of his first big time players actually come back and lead his funeral in Tallahassee in the bigger market and the thing that the bigger funeral was really really cool. Um, I
Was
got
Dion there?
Dion was supposed to come there, and they ended up replacing him with Derrick Brooks. But Dion had another engagement that he couldn't get out of, and I'll give him props because a lot of the coaches who were there had scrimmages already lined up, but they also
Yeah.
had access to really really good private jets. So Dabo and Jimbo were literally on the first thing smoking to get out of there to get back to. Matter of fact, Dabo's scrimmage was at 3:30, and he was going to be a little bit late to it. And then Jimbo's wasn't until 7:30, but he still got out. I think Jimbo actually probably went to the family's house, and then got out of there. But Dion was at the funeral yesterday. That was in Alabama.
Okay.
So he posted the pictures on Twitter. He was gonna be there. Like I've like a lot of people ask me and they're like, dude, you're right. I was like, hold on. I may be right about Dion, but I'm not. I'm willing to tell people the truth about situations. I was like, I might be right in some instances, but not in this one. He has a valid excuse, and a lot of people couldn't make it, and a lot of people were afraid to make it because of situations, like with COVID spikes, or like it wasn't the thing that was kind of sad. But then I thought about it, like I really don't care. It's just that I thought the Civic Center would be full. But I also understand why the Civic Center wasn't full. And there was a lot of people watching it on the streams and on TV and different things like that. So he was well represented, well respected. Well, I don't know if it captured in the TV portion of it was how many former players and former coaches showed up. And there was still a lot that didn't come in. But if you were a fan, oh my God, it was the who's who. I saw guys that I played with that I haven't seen in years. Kevin Steele was there as a coach who I respect the hell out of, and he still looks the same as when he coached. And what's crazy is a lot of the coaches that he coached with are of the same ilk because I haven't seen Kevin Steele since 2005. Kevin Steele should not, and I know who Kevin is, but because he's also been a high guy, a high coach that he's bounced around, but his name is still relevant in a lot of things. But he's like, what's going on, Coleman? How you doing? Blah blah blah. Like sees me and recognize. I'm like, damn, what's up, Coach? Because I love Coach Steele. I think Coach Steele is one of the better
Yeah.
defensive minds.
He did a
it's the
great
reason why
job.
he keeps getting hired.
He did a great job at Auburn. I don't know what happened there, but
Right.
he's
So
a really
let me
good
tell you about Tennessee, right? So he tells me about Tennessee. So he's like, all right, listen, James, Tennessee hired me, but
Wait, Mad Dabs was there?
no, it's he kind of has a Mad Dad's type of
Oh,
tone
okay.
when he's really getting there and stuff. Like to be honest with you, like that's actually like if you had Kevin Steele do Mad Dads, you probably if you weren't paying attention, you were a little bit on the ABC tip, you might get confused. But he was like, he liked it. He was all prepared to be the head coach, but then they fired the AD, and then the new AD came in, and then he was just like, I wasn't about that. Whatever what he was about, I wasn't about. And then he said, somebody was like, so he's like, oh, but I made him pay me. And then he dropped the dopest bar that I'm going to use for the rest of my life. I'm probably going to eventually stop giving him credit. Like I use Mike's bar. The standard is a standard.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't about the money, but I'm not going to do it without the money.
Right.
I was like, woo! He was like, I made him. He's like, I made him pay me every penny. I was like, yo, coach out here dropping a hot 16. I'm ready for that mixtape. But a lot of Bowden's early coordinators, like Wally Durham, I think I said his name right, but Burnham, excuse me, Wally Burnham, son Patrick writes for Osceola, good guy. Guys like Rich, Coach Rick was there. Basically like guys who in the 80s really established a lot of stuff were there that a lot of people didn't know. and it was
Yeah.
cool to see them there. And I've heard about them through stories that older fans have told me. Because again, all I know is Mickey Andrews as the coordinator, and I know, and for the most part, Rick as the OC. And then moving forward, so on, and then Jeff and so on and so on. Jeff Bowden was there. I didn't get a chance to see him, but some of my teammates saw him, took pictures with him. But it was a really, really cool thing. And his daughter is super. Coach Bowden's daughter is super strong. Like to hear her talk about, like she read like letters that Bobby wrote on Miss Ann during their
Wow.
dating time and stuff like that, and she just talked about the relationship, and then we found out who was like Terry Bowden is Bobby more than Tommy. Like, because when Terry was up there speaking, man, Terry was like Southern Baptist preacher past the collection plate. Tommy said something that was kind of interesting. And just as I want to share this because as men, I try to do kind of the opposite of it because Bobby's such a great man. And this doesn't diminish anything about him. It's just one of our things as men and probably the era and stuff like that. I tell my sons I love them. Tell my kids I love them. Hug them as much as I can. I'm going to kiss I kiss my sons. And that's just what I do. I didn't get that. If they don't like it, they only got. I'm getting stronger every day, so they ain't gonna be able to fight me in a little bit. Tommy was saying this story about how Bobby, he can't remember Bobby just saying I love you. Like I love you. So he knows his dad loves him. It's just he's never really heard the statement, right? So Bobby is dying, and I guess when you're in hospice, there's like a hand holding chair, like it's right next to the bed.
Yeah.
You can hold his hand. And
I lost you. Yeah, I can't hear you.
all right, can you hear me now? Sorry.
Yeah.
Adventures of doing this at home and on your phone. My bad, guys.
Okay.
My fault. Somebody called me for whatever reason. But the hand holding chair, he was there and he was just saying all these different things and good stuff to him. He said, Dad, I just want to let you know that that I really love you. Like his dad's dying, all this stuff, saying I really, really love you. That was really nice of you to say. That was Bobby's response to him. Like, so he still never got it, but it was just like, cool. What I got from that is, still tell your people you love them as much as you can when you get the
Yeah.
opportunity. But it was a cool funeral. Now my only beef, and it wasn't just my beef because I actually talked to people after it. One guy is still hot, still like he's mad right now because that's how Monster is. He doesn't like just let stuff go like that, I guess. But the repast again was cool because most of the guys who were there left the funeral, came to the stadium for the repast. A lot of these, so you saw people from the 70s, 80s, 90s, and 2000s with Florida State, and we took pictures like from like each decade. We took a mass picture, and then we took a big picture of Bobby's guys, all in the varsity club. Should have been in the Champions Club, but whatever. I'm not going to. It's in the varsity club. Repast meals in the South are traditionally filled with people eating food that killed the person that we came to see. Your
Yeah.
fried chicken, collard greens, mashed potatoes, heavy bread, sweet potatoes, like all these different. Basically, it's either Sunday dinner or it's family reunion food. We didn't do either of those. And to be honest with you, like if you really think about it, those things are outside of chicken. I hope the chicken. We gotta go talk to my guy from Mr. Chubby's to see the chicken wing prices have come down. Actually, now that I think about it, maybe this was more expensive than I thought. Typically that Florida State is known for honey fried chicken. Everybody was expecting honey fried chicken. You can actually smell the chicken when you get off the elevator to come to the varsity club. The problem is it was chicken wings. It was chicken wings that weren't really that great. And it was Jersey Mike's. And if you saw a picture of me on social media, I actually like Jersey Mike's. But like just think the giant sub at Jersey Mike's is cut into fours. That fourth, right, was cut into thirds. So we got a third of a fourth of a giant sub from Jersey Mike's. We got 3 chicken wings, if you were lucky, a bag of chips. And that was a good bag of chips. It wasn't the 20, well, they don't sell 25 cents. It was the bigger bag of chips. It wasn't like the little
Right.
small
Right.
lunch chips. It was the bigger
Yeah.
ones. I'm gonna give them credit where credit's due. Now if you want to, now they had high end soda. They had Coke, Sprite. We had that. And good water. But no, not good water. They had Dasani. Like nobody likes Dasani.
Second
They
worst
had
water, only to Aquafina.
yeah. The cookies were fresh. The pound cake was kind of stale, and they had some fruit, but the fruit, I don't know how fresh the fruit was. Like the fruit on my truck that we give to kids and families is a little bit more fresher sometimes than that. And these are still large mammals. A lot of these guys. So like again, like when I'm looking at some of these people, they're still huge. Like and some of these guys from the 70s and 80s look like they might be able to like at least give you a run for your money once.
You're
And
you're putting the blame on the wrong place here. I'm gonna let you finish,
no,
but I just want you to
I
know you're
think
putting the
it's
blame.
Florida State is,
Well, no,
and the only reason I blame Florida State is, and I don't know who paid what, but you got all the guys back. T-Buck stayed back from going to O like so. T-Buck came to eat. Who else? So I go over. I leave where I'm at with Pete. With Pete. Not with Pete. My boy. What Paul Irons, one of my friends, who was a tight end when I was there. And I walk over there, and Pete was like, "I knew it. I know he about to complain." He points to me. He's like, "It's 3 people that I knew was gonna complain. You, Monster, and I forgot who else he said. And then might have said Lamar Glenn. But we're all over there just like, yo, how in the hell is this what they gonna give us, man?" I said, "I love chicken wings. You gave me 3 chicken wings, man. Come on, now what am I supposed to do?" And we were there from 9:30, to 1:30. Like the funeral didn't start till like 11ish. But the point is, 9:30 to 1:30. I'm expecting to come in and get a good snack.
You know
But
whose fault this is?
whose?
Willie Taggart.
Everything's tax fault.
When he took the money.
Oh,
He took
yeah,
the money.
true. But like we're sitting here like there's a booster that would have paid for this. They could have charged us 20. And as my guy Keith just put on there, we all know the training table. We used to call it Miss Betty's. And Miss Betty was good and retired when I played, but we all still talked about Miss Betty's honey
Yeah,
fried
somebody
chicken.
just made that comment. Somebody
Yeah,
just
so
commented they should have let Miss Betty cook the food.
and she's still alive. She could have came back. Oh my God, John, who took over the fried chicken. John could have cooked it up. Hell, Tag made John come back off of a vacation to come cook for a recruiting event that they didn't plan until the last minute. So like John is used to coming back and stopping what he has to do. But I mean, all in all, outside of the food, what it was about Coach Bowden is the guys came back in full force. And then, the only thing I'll say, and I love what Mike Norvell tried to do with it. I participated in it, but it was an extremely long day. Like for the players to come back to a 2.5 hour scrimmage at the end of it was a lot, but a good amount of guys actually did come. And that's the first time that's really happened. And all the guys really connected. It was really dope. It was really cool. It was therapeutic to be in a room with all those people to honor such a great man. And I think the family did a phenomenal job of picking all the guys that like nobody in the back, nobody on the floor was like, man, can't believe they picked them this week. Why didn't
Mm-hmm.
like everybody was just like, yo, those are the perfect ambassadors to speak what their truth is, but also how we feel about Coach Bowden. And loved every minute of it. We got a chance to see a great man get laid to rest, and I know he's in peace right now.
Hearing you talk about this made me think of something. About a year back or so, we did this exercise where it's like we take a couple quarterbacks, usually either seniors or college guys, and we go through this. We call it "Don't Flinch" curriculum, but one of it is talking about. I'm not a big believer in setting professional goals. Like then there's people that are like, what the heck are you talking about? Like I'm a believer in just, work and do what's right, and what comes. Like, prepare for it. But I am a huge believer in personal things. And one of it, we talk about, people always talk about, what do you want people to say at your funeral? We took it a step further, and it's, what do you want your funeral to look like? And one of the few goals that I have for my life is that if somebody wandered in off the street, um, into my funeral, and they didn't know who I was, and they didn't know who my family was, that they would not be able to tell you my ethnicity
Mm,
based on the population at the funeral. Like
mm,
that's just like a little personal thing. And so when I hear you say that, like that's why I was kind of nodding my head, like, there's like little things I think everybody has, like little goals, or little, I don't even know if the goal is the right word, but just certain ways that they want to live. And I'm a white guy that was born in Louisiana, raised in Arkansas, right? That's not, um, that's a weird goal to have, right? For a white guy born in Louisiana, raised in Arkansas. But to hear you talk about that with Coach Bowden is dope, man, because that's something that, I'm not saying that I always do it, because I'm not the most social person, but that's what I want my end of life to be. I want people to walk in and go, I don't know this guy, but was he white, black, was he Asian, was he whatever? That's kind of a personal goal I have. So that's dope to hear, man.
yeah, man. And again, it's just to who he was, and um, you know, it's like I said, man, it's like I said, man, I don't really know what else to say about Bobby. I mean, I know we were talking like a lot of guys are just again, but it was one of those things that everybody was happy. Now, what I did learn is that um, the locker room culture, and again, I know because it wasn't just again like you were saying, it wasn't one group of people. Man, when people are excited to see you, bro, like they are like it doesn't it never affect again through my COVID journey, which I document, and I'm not here to bet. Like it's me doing, it's therapeutic for me. That's why I document it on Facebook. I really don't, let me be honest with you. I really don't want any of you guys' opinions about like the stuff that I post on there. My doctor is really, really good, and I talk to him very candidly and a lot of stuff. I'm really just telling you the good and the bad. Like, so today when I posted it, my
Their
oxygen was really,
experience.
really low.
Yep.
Yeah, it wasn't up for you guys to tell me to sit my ass down somewhere. What the hell do you think I did when my oxygen was low? I didn't go out and do sprints. I went and set my ass down somewhere. I literally told you in the tweet. But I do appreciate the concern. But it's really just. But what I found is the more I talk about it, the more people have shared their experiences, which is therapeutic for them, and more people are learning about what's going on. They can get you can talk statistics all you want. That's not me. I don't that's not my job. So I don't just Google things and just regurgitate it. That's not how I learn. If I can't apply it, then I don't really need to know it. So like I'm just showing you what I'm applying. But man, it's kind of like when I had surgery. I didn't realize how much I hit my hand on Monday things until it was pain there. So like these
Yeah.
guys are just like they're beating me up, and I don't have that extra muscle or that mass anymore. And I go to my mom's house after this thing, and I take a nap, and I wake up, and my whole upper body is sore. And I'm like, why is my upper body sore? Then I was like, oh, I probably did like 200 heavy ass handed handshakes where guys literally put their shoulders square in my chest, and like because they were just happy to see
You know
me.
who's
So
you know whose funeral was just like that, hearing you say that? You remember JD Hall?
yeah, oh man, yeah, I really wanted to go. JD was everybody loved JD Hall here in Jacksonville.
But
A
exactly,
former
I'm hearing
Mandarin
you
high
say that, and
school, former Mandarin high school coach here in Jacksonville, Florida.
yeah, same exact way, that you're saying too. But no, that's good stuff, man. Do we want to get to Joey?
Yeah, let's go into Joey Gatewood.
Um, so just I'll kind of tell the quick story, and then kind of tell what exactly is going on. So I mentioned that I was at the Colts game enjoying a life of luxury at the suite, and so I get a call from Joey, and answered the call, and it was like, I don't know, late first quarter or something like that. Early first quarter. It was right after 1 o'clock, actually. And I'm like, yo, man, what's up? And he hears kind of the crowd in the background, and he said, what are you doing? I was like, I was at the Colts game. He's like, all right, hit me back later. I need to talk to you. I'm like, no. Joey's not one that just calls to chat. So I'm like, what's up, dude? He's like, well, he said, I think I'm going to hit the portal. And I was like, oh, okay. Why? And so, the personal side of the conversation, I'm not going to get into, but it's not a situation where there's like, nobody's been done wrong. Nobody dislikes each other. Um, there's a new offensive staff at Kentucky from when Joey went there. And if you watched Kentucky play offense last year, you know why. There needed to be a new offensive staff. They were horrific on offense at Kentucky last year. And I really like the new offense coordinator, Liam Cohen. He came from the Rams, was with McVay. And so in the spring, they started putting in this offense, which was really well suited. I've said for years that I think Joey Gatewood is a more talented passer than what people think. And so he balled out, man. He had an amazing spring. He had a very high completion percentage, no interceptions, no turnovers. But it's an all new staff. And so this new staff, as you know, James, new staff comes in, the first thing they want to do is get their quarterback in. And there was a kid from Penn State named Will Levis who is extremely talented. Big kid, strong kid, athletic kid, very, very talented. And so he transferred in, and so it was a battle. It was, they said a three-way battle, but it really was just two-way battle between Joey and this kid. And Kentucky decided that they wanted to be fair, and so they wanted to bring them all in and name a starter, right away. And so they did. And so they picked Will. And where this kind of took a weird turn, man, was nobody should have known. Like, I don't know what happened. I don't know where the leak was with this, because when Joey called me, people have to understand there's the transfer rule, which is you get one free transfer, right? So Joey's already gotten that, which sucks because he had to do the whole appeal process. And if you remember, he missed the Auburn game through the appeal process, but they counted that as a free transfer. So the rule says that you have to be enrolled somewhere for 365 days before you become eligible. So I tell you guys that so you guys understand why all this came about so quickly. So Joey has to find a home, and he has to enroll now so that he's guaranteed to be eligible week 1 for the 2022 season. You follow me?
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like one of these things that he can just sit on. So it's not like one of those things where, because I saw, and I was added by so many of you like Twitter bums that are calling the kid out, calling him a quitter and all that kind of stuff. You guys understand the situation. Like, you can't wait for your opportunity, because if you do that and Will Levis turns out to be what you think he is, then you've really wasted 2 years of eligibility, right? So there's points in everyone's life where you have to create your own opportunity, and what the optics are, it doesn't matter. What other people think about you, or what other people say, well, gosh, he's transferring again, like, it doesn't matter. The optics are the optics, but they do not affect what your reality is. And Joey's reality is pretty simple. He has every tool that you want your quarterback to have. He's got to find the right situation. And that situation when he first went to Auburn was a great situation. And then the Bo Nix thing happened. The situation when he went to Kentucky with a different staff was a great situation. And then the staff left. So long term, is this a good situation? Is this a good place for success for Joey Wood? And that answer is no. And I personally spoke with the Kentucky staff Sunday while I was at the Colts game. We had a great conversation. They were, more than willing to do whatever was best for Joey. If that meant staying there, if that meant whatever, they were all in. What do you need from us? And so the decision was made that the best thing is to see what else is out there. And I don't know how the information leaked, but it was very premature. And so I was leaving the Colts game and actually just got to no, I wasn't even at the hotel room yet. I was at this guy's house that we were meeting at. And all of a sudden, everything blows up because I guess it had leaked, which made Stoops have a 6 o'clock press conference. And so that's how the news came out, and that wasn't how it was intended at all. It was supposed to be, hey, let's kind of see where this thing goes on Monday or Tuesday, and then go from there. But it was kind of rushed and forced and things like that. So I'm going to be, we've got a new outlook on life here with the way we're doing the show, and so I want to be as transparent as possible. I'm going to say things now that I wouldn't have said on air. And so here's what I'm going to tell you guys about Joey Gatewood and what's about to happen with Joey Gatewood. Joey Gatewood is I wasn't sure how it was going to be. I didn't know, like when he hit the portal with Auburn, he had damn near every offer in the country, like within 24 hours. When he told me he was going to hit the portal here, I readied him for a very slow recruitment. It's like, Joey, I don't know how this is going to go. I was like, the way I see this, you've got three options. You can stay at Kentucky, and you can be the backup. You can switch positions, and you can go to tight end, and you're probably a first round, second round guy, and you literally can go wherever you want to go. Like if you said today I'm going to switch positions, Alabama, Clemson, all of them would call. Or we can do things the way I want to do them, and you can continue to be a quarterback. Now, I told him, I was like, I'm Joey's like a son to me, and you know that. Joey's different than a lot of guys I train. Joey's blood to me. Joey is, I would die for that kid. And so I was like, I'm going to support you any way you want to go. And if it, there's some level like that position change, if that's what you want to do, I got it. And he was very, very adamant with, no, I don't want to do that. I could have done that last time. I feel like I can still play quarterback. That's what I want to do. Are you sure, Joey? Yes, I'm positive. Will you sleep on it? Don't need to. That's what I want to do. And so we dialed down, and we're sending Joey to a couple different places that we use for our NFL guys to get some cognitive testing done. And when I say that, I don't want people to think there's something wrong. This is what we do with all of our NFL guys. What we want to know is how they learn, right? Like, what are their strengths? What are their weaknesses? What are the things that we can improve upon? What are the things that are just genetic and you can't improve upon? How do they process information? How do they learn the best? How do they coach the best? All that kind of stuff. We've done this with just about all of our NFL guys. And the guys that we haven't are getting ready to do that. So we're going to take that approach with Joey. And we're going to spend this next, 4 months, wherever he ends up, and we're going to document this. We're going to make this kind of like a documentary style thing. And we are going to create a different kind of grind. And I am telling sportsden Nation that the kid's skill set, physical skill set, is elite. And we all understand there's one more chance at this. His recruitment has been shocking. Like, dang near to the level it was the first time he hit the portal. And I didn't think it would be that way with all the people in the portal and the way the portal's played out. But James, my phone hasn't stopped. And it's interesting. It's a lot of the same people that it was before. Joey is zeroed in on a couple of places. And he's not a guy that needs attention, and he runs from attention. And so he don't need to go take, all of his visits, all that kind of stuff. He's zeroed in, and he'll have a decision made at the latest by the end of next week.
Oh,
So
nice. Okay.
we'll know the next move for Joey Gatewood. I would say within the next 7 days, is what I think it is. And I'm not going to sit here and say who those people are going to be. And it's not about hiding anything. It's about, creating trust, not just with Joey, but with these college coaches and all that kind of stuff. The weird thing is it's a dead period right now. So he technically can't go visit schools. Dead period doesn't end until September 1st. And so it's a lot of it's going to be off past relationships. I'll say that. Past relationships that he knows that he's comfortable with, things of that nature. And that's really the only way that he can do this, because he can't go. He can't go anywhere and visit a school and form a new relationship or anything like that, because he has to be enrolled before the start of the season. And so that's where we're at with Joey. I didn't see it coming. In hindsight, I should have, and it makes sense now. And I think I'm believing that with all the information we now have, with him being in multiple offensive systems, with us being able to understand what Joey's strengths and weaknesses are and how to attack them and how to train them and how to, fit around them, that I think this is going to be a good thing for Joey. And I think it's going to be, a great thing for wherever he ends up going, because wherever he goes, the anticipation is in 2022, he's the guy. Like that. I mean, that's the understanding. He's going to have to compete. Joey has 3 years left. That's crazy. Like, he's still got 3 years left. So if he goes somewhere and it's a good fit for him, they can get a lot of mileage out of Joey. And Joey well enough. No, Joey's a super loyal guy, which is why I think, reading some of these comments, he doesn't read them, but seeing some of the comments and some of the things that are texted to me are just so far off base. But that's the
Really good
situation
athlete, too.
on Joey. Good kid, man.
Tremendous athlete.
Great kid. One of the things that I've heard over and over on him, and this is not just him, I've got a couple quarterbacks that are this way. It's like, if you don't go out, if you don't, hang out with your team, it's looked at as a bad thing. But at the same time, like we talk about, these kids being in bars and these kids being in nightclubs and all that kind of stuff. Well, I mean, that's just not who he is.
Mm-hmm.
And I can tell you, at every major university, I don't know about Miami. I don't know Derek that well. The guy they're going to run out there is the same way as Joey is. They
Most
don't go
places, the
out.
guy, if they go out, it's very little, but you can't go out because you're the guy, and
Right.
it's attracting trouble, in a multitude of different ways. Remember, there was a guy, in the Big Three that went out one night, with some teammates. He wasn't even the guy. Had a great time. Ended up being scandals. Nobody forgives him for it now. First round pick, had a tremendous career, all those different things. Had he not gone out, now granted he's done some other foolish things as well since then, but had he not gone out that night, there. Another kid that we both know, we'll speak
Yep.
candidly, DeAndre Johnson. DeAndre Johnson literally came on our show and said, I had two other places that I was supposed to be at. I think it was mom's birthday, and then he was supposed to be, was it the Manning passing camp with Cleo, I believe.
Yeah, it was something. Yeah.
And had he gone and done what he was supposed to do and not gone out that night, that opportunity for trouble would not have been there. And I would be a liar to tell people like, yo, I didn't go out. But like at the same time, I wasn't a quarterback. Fullback gets in a fight, it might add to my draft status. I think actually when I did my interviews with my when I did the combine and some other stuff, the problem is that it was two ends of the spectrum that were so polar opposite that they didn't know what the hell I was. There was the guy who went on trips like to South Africa and was building wells and feeding people, and there was a guy that they heard before he started playing football that got kicked out of the school for fighting, and has god brothers and friends that sell dope. They're like, and then to be honest with you, they would have rather me be closer to the fighter, which I kind of was. They just didn't know, but they're like, I'd rather you be the fighter than the guy who builds wells. And so like all that good character stuff, man, listen, you gotta be able to play ball. And you gotta do what's best for you. And as a quarterback, I want a quarterback who has the least amount of distractions around him as possible. So uh, dang, shoot, I can't even hear you now.
Hear me at all?
I hear you now. I hear you now.
Okay. Um, I don't know what else we want to get to, but I'm about to flex on this because we're literally talking about this. And the reason why I cut out is I just got a call from a head coach that I have got to talk to about
All
this.
right.
So I'm going to have to exit.
Well, no, we're good. We're at a minute. I mean, we're over an hour. I was gonna talk about the Tebow thing, but I don't really need to talk.
Are we coming
I
back
didn't
tomorrow
get.
night?
Yeah, tomorrow night.
Okay. Can we do that then?
Yeah, tomorrow night, 8 o'clock. All right, and you can
Yeah.
go ahead and
Yeah.
cut
Yeah.
out, bro.
Yeah. I'm
Go ahead,
sorry, man,
do
but
what you gotta do.
I got to take this.
Take your time, no problem. See you
All
tomorrow
right,
night
bro.
at 8 o'clock. All right.
All right.
So again, I'll end the show. This is the Sports Den brought to you by thehumidor.com. If you want to support the show, there's a few things that you can do that are free. Make sure you go like the channels. So Facebook, the Sports Den, Twitter, if you're on it, at sportsden_live. The Sports Den on YouTube. That's where we need to get up to 1,000 subscribers. I think we're close to 700 right now, which we did really, really good last week. If we can get that last 300 or more, that helps us get into the super chat level. So if some people got some bread, they want to go ahead and put things, you can go ahead and hit us with that super chat. Or again, share, ask a friend, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Spotify, SoundCloud. Want to continue to get those numbers up. Those things help us find advertisers. The advertisers help provide the content, and it keeps it free to you until we get our subscription service, and that's on you guys for that if you just really like us that much. And we'll have tiers, but we'll have the one thing that everybody can get to that. Hopefully that'll be here by September 1st. Like, share, at people, continue to comment, tell them that we're coming on tomorrow night, which is Wednesday, um, August August whatever. We'll be here 8 p.m. not 6:30. We'll be here 8 p.m. We'll put the stuff out and we will talk about more Jaguars, probably Florida, more FSU, and if there's topics that you guys want to hit us up in the DMs. This format is a lot more interactive, and we love every one of you guys. Thank y'all for being here. Be blessed.